today I've got an unusual situation where I'm actually having to fix my old headset. Now this is a XO7, I think I've got on here. On the left hand side, as you can see, and the right hand side I think is X12, I think another old headphone that used to go into Xbox 360 maybe, I'm not sure, or in the PCs. Now the problem is basically my XO7 works perfectly fine. It's just the fact that I cannot get hold of the ear cushions for any of those at all. That is because the size of the headphone is quite large, and I tried to get a replacement one, but it just did not fit. So I'm having to modify it slightly to put a new ear cushions on. So what I've done, I've taken the what I wanted to do was take the cushion from an old headset and put onto this XO7. But also I wanted to, where the head area is, there's a little cushion there which is really worn out as well on my XO7. I wanted to replace that with the one that's you can see I'm working on right now. Unfortunately, I was unable to actually take that out without having to destroy it, and that would also mean when I'm having to put onto the XO7, it will be a major issue as well, because it just wouldn't slip on properly. I have to literally, only way to do it is to stitch it, unstitch it first and put it on again and stitch it. So anyway, I've abandoned the idea. So what I'll do is I'll just put the cushion on from the smaller headset onto a larger ear cup headset that's on XO7, and that is the plan, and that is what I'll be doing. So hopefully you'll see how this can be done. Although I've dismantled the older headset completely, you know, I won't be able to use it anymore. I'm just going to throw it away, but I'm just keeping the ear cushions to use it on this XO7. Now that I know what I need to do, you'll notice that my XO7 is completely worn out everywhere. Leather's come off, the leather it's gone, and the other cushion is slightly smaller than the one I have. So if you no, I've just taken it off now, you can see how badly damaged they are, and it's not nice to wear them as well. Although the cushion itself is nice and comfortable, and to be honest, it's not really comfortable as the new one that I'm putting on. Is the new one slightly harder, but it's just a bit better to put on your ears than what's on there already. And yeah, it is smaller, it doesn't really fit in that well. So my plan is basically to take the cushion off, throw them away, because I can nothing much I can do with those. And now the problem next is where I'm trying to put this on, the headset itself, where the cushion goes into, slips into the gap, is much larger. So my plan is basically to make that slightly smaller. As you can see straight away, the edge sticks out a lot. So I've got the cutting tool ready, and I'm going to start cutting and see how quickly I can get that cut all the way through. Take the mic off, that comes off as well on XO7, which is quite nice. And cutting should be quite simple. You just follow the guide already. There's two parts of that. As I said, there's a gap, and the gap that it goes into, it sticks out like a little lip. So I'm just going to cut all the lips all the way around with the special cutting tools, and I'm hoping it doesn't crack. That's my main worry. So I wouldn't really recommend you doing it to a new headset, because I don't really need this headset. So I'll fix it up and give it to somebody that might need to use it. And it still works. So I mean, I haven't really had that much use out of it, but it still works really well. So yeah, just gonna cut through, and it's quite difficult to do that. You've got to follow the guide of it, and you know, it's not the hardest thing, so it can be done. As you can see, there's little bits coming off. So when you make it smaller, it works much better for the cushion to go into, and you'll see how well it cuts. Now let me fast forward this bit quickly for you, because it does take a while to go around all the way across. When that's done, you will leave a very rough edges everywhere, and this is where I need to use a slightly different tool, maybe sharp scissors, to get rid of the sharpness on the sides. You don't want the sharp edges on the side, that's for sure. I mean, going forward, I could have sanded down a bit more, made the plastic a bit more sort of smoother, but you know, as long as the cushion goes on, I don't really care. So yeah, I'll just do that. Now looking at it carefully, you'll notice that it's not as smooth as it could have been, but that's sanding would have been a best job. And also the cushion just barely fits in. As you can see, it's right up to the edge. So what I'm planning to do now is trying to see if I can squeeze the end of the cushion, sort of how it goes in there, just to go in from the side. That's the hardest bit. You don't want to rip it if you pull it too hard, it's going to rip, because it is a quite soft material. It's not pure leather, it's just leather of some sort. You just go around, and it should quite easily fit all the way around. Just take your time at it. It must be would have been easier to do with a paper clip, maybe just put onto the edge somehow and just sort of go around like how they put tires on it on the wheels. But anyway, this has worked, and also you've got to do is make sure that you adjust the headset at the end to make sure it's sort of all straightened, because they're not all round circle, they're sort of in oval shape. You've got to make sure it fits in nicely with the oval shape. And so yeah, so after you put this on, you look quite smart and you look much better than it did before. Now that the both cushions are on, comfortably on there, I just got to make sure I adjust it. As I said, it's an oval shape and you've got to make sure it's in there, and just trying to adjust it properly with my last few bits to basically organize when it's all sort of put on. I was struggling with the second one slightly. As you can see, it's not going in properly for some reason. I don't know why. The other one went in much quicker. This one seems to be taking a bit longer time. As you can see, it's all now put on, and you can see the old headset is completely dismantled. I just want to see what it was like when I break it down, and it's interesting to see how they all put it together. I mean, if you dismantle it all, it literally breaks apart. But the problem is the wire that goes all the way across where the sound sort of travels through the little electric wire that goes all the way across. You would have to cut that just to get that cushion out. So only way around it was to basically take the whole thing, unstitch it, and then stitch it back up again, which I'm not willing to do. So I'll leave it as it is and scrape off the remaining leatherette off the cushion and see how that goes from there. You can see how easily the leatherette sort of comes off from the cushion itself on the head side. So the cushion is quite comfortable, to be honest. It's nice and soft, so I'm going to keep it on, and it'll be such a hard work to take it off and to replace it. So my plan is basically to scrape off the remaining bits that we don't need, and then from there on in the future, maybe I might be able to get a velcro one that you can sort of wrap around. I think they're for about a couple of quid, and just put a cloth around it with a velcro maybe on it or something, just to make it a bit more nicer, because it does look a bit, it's not nice, the material that's underneath it. So what I'll do, I probably will do that, but till then it is a spare pair of headset that I might just give it away to a family member, so if they need it. So I'm just going to tidy up a bit and make it also neat and tidy for them to use. Now that it's all done, you can see it looks much better than it did before. I mean, as I said, this might not last as long, but what this enables me to do as well, going in the future, if this cushion doesn't last long, I can always buy another pair of cushion and use other different types of cushion to put on as well, which I've done in my other videos of trying to use different cushion for different models of headset. And as you can see, this seems to have worked for this one, because now the size is smaller. It allows me to have better options of using different cushion now on XO7. And I did like that headset, because I did use it quite early on in my days when it first came out for some time, and this will sort of still last a bit longer now for somebody else maybe to use as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and gives you some ideas of how you can sort of repair things and make good of old things as well. And I hope that I come up with more ideas to show you later on for other things. But for now, this was sort of like a little thing I did as a project, just to see if I can get it all fixed up and ready to use. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and take care.